Well, yeah, we'll get started here. I will go over my bias right now. So I think we're just going to kind of rage going into the PM session. We'll kind of see what price wants to do coming out of this lower 15-minute gap here that we've continued to respect. I do believe we're just between essentially this 5-minute gap here and that 15-minute below. And so while we're ranging between these two fair value gaps, we might be able to take shorts if like we were to soup this high here, or longs if we come down and like run out these lows here. This seems like a lot of stacked liquidity, so we'll just kind of check and see what's going on. But yeah, um, this candle was 300 points, so you got to be really careful when trading right now. I would trade only a micro on everything, whether you're on a funded or an eval or whatever. I wouldn't really be trying to trust the market right now. So we did sweep out this high here, okay, and we're getting a pretty nice 30-second setup to the downside here. I'm not gonna lie, this would be probably A plus if it went along with the bias, which right now there just isn't a bias. So this would probably be closer to like a I don't know, eval setup probably. But yeah, OSFL to data high was fire. Are we calling this a data wick? By the way, as far as geopolitics go right now, we are just in like no man's land. So there's the 30-second inverse to the downside. Let's see. Break even's obviously going to be this low here. I got such a bad fill on this. So there's the break even. I'm probably going to get break even, to be honest, but I don't know. One can hope. First take profit for this would be this 5-minute gap here. Okay. And then this would be if it hit, I think like 3R. It looks pretty good for 3R here. So let's see. Yeah, just over 2R actually. Looks like it's going to be a break-even trade, but that's okay. The spreads right now actually aren't too bad. I don't think. I think they're within a few points. Avi, I just got like a bad market fill. But it would have been a break-even trade regardless of where you got filled, so all good there. Reason why we want to go break even at that first internal low there is because we just don't know what the bias is, and so we want to try and get our break evens in quick. It definitely makes sense for us to come back up here just because we did leave unfilled fair value gaps behind. So if the market's going to want to balance this efficiently, then that makes sense. I think based off this reaction to us sweeping out that high there on the 1 minute, it makes sense for us to head lower here because typically you won't see price sweep out liquidity and then get a V-shape inverse like that and then us not become bearish immediately after. But what might make sense is for us first to get a manipulation leg, right? If you look at the trades that worked out this morning, you'll see something. There's a pretty common pattern here, okay? We had price come down here, create an SMT at the low here, run into this 15-minute gap or whatever it was, and then run back up very V-shaped, right? Then we came up, swept out these highs here, these relative equal highs, this liquidity. In the process of that, we got the setup that I took this morning, which was this 15-second long here. I liked it because the stop loss wasn't egregious like a lot of the other plays were this morning. This was only like a 60 or 70 point stop. So with a micro, that's actually within my risk. And then I took that for like 150 points and just sold after this massive pump candle. But I probably should have held for the highs here because, relative equal. But what you'll notice is when we took out these highs, we swept liquidity with the first leg, and then we get this manipulation leg up, okay? And this is what you're looking for when you're taking these inverse plays, right? Is you're looking for this manipulation leg. So if we got one here on this potential short after sweeping out this liquidity, and we continue to respect this gap in the leg here, this 1 minute or 2 minute or whatever, that could become a really good short, right? As long as we have a good draw on liquidity. Which right now, I mean, we have like an unfilled 15 minute below, so I think it makes sense for us to come back for that. But we'll just see. But yeah, you can see like the power of manipulation legs here when anticipating that reversal, right? Whenever we're in like a market maker model, you want to see that manipulation leg pattern kind of play out. So we get that there, and then nice, short setup to the downside there on the 1 minute. I took that too. Those were my two plays. Was this 1 minute short? I got in a little bit better for a better fill, so my stop loss wasn't too bad. I think it was like 50 points, and I caught 100 points out of that, and then I caught 100 points from that 15-second play, and I had missed all of this. So that just goes to show on days like today, even if you miss that initial move, there's still going to be opportunity for you elsewhere. So is there a reason we had this huge bump? I have no idea, Merritt. Probably like a stop run that the institutions are placing on people that are going short, right? So that they can get exit liquidity and they can get filled at better prices on their shorts they want to take, if I had to guess. Big bearish S&T on ES. Okay. So yeah, here would be our manipulation leg. This 30-second BISI here would be like our inverse play that we'd want to take, right? By the way, I'm already done for the day. I'm gonna be on eval the rest of the session because I don't want to trade trailing drawdown funded accounts right now. In these price conditions, right? You can just see these big like whipsaw moves happen and like really destroy that trailing drawdown even with a micro. So I already hit my 40% limit on MFFU this morning, and so I'm just going to be trading some evals. But I do think like if you want to trade a funded, that's okay, but just don't trade with more than a micro. And then obviously that makes scaling a little bit more tricky. So like this morning when I took profit, I was taking profit at 150 points, which like I thought was incredible. And then we continued to go higher, right? But I'm completely okay with that. I mean, profit is profit, especially on a day like today. So but yeah, like here's another entry. I think this would be A plus because we're delivering to the left out of that gap. The singular candle inverse would be creating an order block. And then, good break even points. I think you'd probably go break even there because this is kind of like mini LRLR. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out. The only thing that makes this probably a mechanical A plus setup and not a subjective is the fact that it kind of goes against bias, right? We're still trending upward and respecting bullish PD rays on the way up. So we'll just see. Do I always enter on the 30-second? I enter from the 30-second to the 3-minute usually, sometimes the 5. So we just inverse this 3 minutes to the upside, right? But yeah, I sincerely believe as long as we're holding like whatever this gap is to the left here, there's definitely something there. This just looks like a fair value gap. Any rejection we get from here would be not terrible to take short. Apparently Apex is doing 90% off for wealth charts evals, which I don't know what that is. I think that's their like proprietary um what's it called? Like Top Step X type platform, but for Apex. So if you're interested in trying that out, those evals are 90% off. Me personally, I can't recommend them because I've never used them. So someone here said it sucks. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I don't know. I've never used it. I like this momentum down. We have another 15 seconds before the candle close, so we'll just see. Do we have a 1 minute here? Nope. So yeah, I think my draw on liquidity for the session is just this 15 minute. So no 30-second inverse there. We have another 25. Created equal lows there. I'm going to drop the rating on this to an A just because I don't love the momentum. Yeah, we should come up and hit this 1 minute BPR. That's what I'm kind of hoping for as far as delivery, right, for this short. But so far, we're just trending upwards. So I think the short is against the bias. I think we're long biased right now. Yeah, so if we break this 1 minute BPR, we're probably going to head up here and hit these highs again. And then it'll kind of be up to this 5 minute gap to tell us the story for the rest of the day. If we inverse this 5 minutes to the upside, I bet you we go a lot higher here. And honestly, options calls might be interesting. Obviously, like we probably can't take them because I probably can't afford them, to be honest. I think I think QQQ calls right now just have the craziest IV. Yeah, 0 day till expiry QQQ calls right now we're at 150%. Like that's insane. I couldn't afford that. Get the spread. It said, yeah, I could start doing like debit spreads, but still, like, it's not worth it. The IV's too high. Yeah, but the calls that I'd want to take in order to make that debit spread work, I think, would be out of the money. So I'm actually, I haven't done debit spreads in so long. Isn't it like I buy the in the money position and sell the out of the money? I mean, obviously, I can do two out of the money positions, right? But Maybe long call at the money, short call out of the money. Okay. But then I only make the money if the out of the money contract goes in the money, right? Like that's how I profit the most, or how I hit max profit, right? So like what I could do here is I could buy like a 500 call, and then sell like what, a 505. Wait, but I'd only make like $50 on that transaction. That's not even worth it. They have to be out of the money. Yeah, it's just not worth it. There's no way any of that's worth it. So yeah, we've inversed this 1 minute to the upside here. Was I looking at SPY or QQQ? Yeah, so I could. I guess I could buy like 425s and sell 430s, and my profit there would be 230, I think, if it hits. Okay, well, no, we didn't. I thought we were going to on this candle, and then we closed below. And then we have this tiny gap above, so I guess we haven't closed above yet. That looks like we're going to. This is a 200-point candle. I'm checking financial juice, but it doesn't seem like we're getting anything there as far as news goes. Okay, so there's the official close above. I don't even know what to call this. These are equal lows next to like what looks like a data wick, but it's just not. I don't know. This has so much unfilled liquidity though. Maybe we take out this high and then get a short, and our short setup would be this 30-second gap that we're forming, and we'd be delivering at the 5 minute at that point. Okay, so there's our 30-second there. I don't know. Are we calling? No, because that wick got swept out. So I have literally no idea. Why is there so much volume today? I don't know. Pay attention, or just I don't know how you couldn't know, to be honest. But it's Trump tariffs. I mean, that's the reason why. Yeah, that would suck, Avi. Yeah, no, JMOC, it's nothing. But it, even though it's not news, this wick and this overall candle just has a lot of unfilled liquidity because we moved 80 points in such a short span of time that there's no way that all of these orders were filled efficiently. So I feel like this becomes a good draw on liquidity. Now, what is going to suck though is we don't have an SMT with this high here, and we didn't sweep out buy side, so this is not like an A plus setup. But I don't know. Like the best setup here is gonna come after we sweep buy side. I think. If I was in a short here, I'd probably go break even at 50% of the wick. But I just wouldn't be in a short until after we sweep out liquidity. I think those are going to be the best short setups we're going to get today. So yeah, here we're in the algo now. So maybe we get like a Judas swing up here to start the macro. Sorry, not the algo. We're in the macro now. So if we get our Judas swing up during the macro time, right, those first couple minutes of the macro, and then get our distribution down, that could be good. But you guys can see why I said like this isn't a good short yet, right? And it's because we're just missing that last final key component. You think algos are trying to give FOMO to traders? I don't think so. I don't know how you can have FOMO in this price action because I don't know. You can just like catch a move and be up 1,000,000 points. It's not like you missed the only move of the day. There's been moves all day. Like every IFEG worked this morning. I thought like if you just respected liquidity, all IFEGs worked today. Right? And here we're not respecting liquidity. That's why this one fails, right? Yeah, basically Fahrenheit. If our market is worth 17,000 points on the Nasdaq, a 1,700 point range would be a 10% swing from side to side. Yeah, space. That's why I waited for a good size stop. Like I'm not gonna break my rules just because you know it's the craziest day of the year. EU Commission proposes counter tariffs on range of U.S. imports at 25% in response to the U.S. steel duties. They are going to take effect from December 1st, it looks like. I don't know. Can you guys imagine trading like a mini in this price action? So yeah, look at how unclean prices became because we're not really seeing price sweep out liquidity. This was a soup. I don't know. gotcha space. Do you agree the long that D said not to get excited about wasn't good because we expanded already? Which long? What time frame was that? I wasn't on until like 10:30 today. But yeah, here I guess I can go over the really good setups from today. So 9:30 open here is where I'm going to start looking at setups. I'm not going to look at any of this pre-market. And obviously, like this log here is very good. Um, I believe on the 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute here. Right. V-shaped setup after sweeping out the lows here. Delivery to the left. I mean, that doesn't get more textbook. And then 10:34 2 minute. I actually took the long there, Trade Boy. Because this. But I didn't take it off the 2 minute time frame because the stop loss was too big. I took it off the 15 seconds. So I don't agree. But yeah, I mean, if you'd caught the first long, then yeah, you probably shouldn't take the second one. Don't love this long because you're longing after buy side's been hit. So don't love that. Don't love that. Then we get this short delivering out of the 4 hour. Fair value got to the left here, right? If you come over and you look, we stopped at the last 4 hour gap in the leg here. And just hard rejected. So the short coming out of here makes complete sense, especially after the pump we had. And so that was really good. This long, not as good because you're longing on the sell side of the curve without a liquidity sweep. And that here, this long is very good because we get that liquidity sweep, we get the bullish S&T. And so then we can start to look at things like confirmation setups after that. And so you had the 2 minute there, which was fine. That was the original inverse. And then this was the trade that I took. This was my first trade of the day. This 15-second long, and the reason why was because of those relative equal highs there. And then after that, the 1 minute short here was very good. Because barely swept this high, delivering out of a 5 minute BPR to the left. That was our manipulation leg up. Reversal happens at 11, so within the macro time. And then just target the low again. And yeah, good break-even target too. So I thought that was good. And now we're just chopping. So yeah, Jiu-Jitsu, whenever you're wanting to take a long, you want to be on the buy side of the curve, meaning you want to be on the curve that's created an obvious V-shape, reversal setup, right? Coming off of us sweeping liquidity here, your long is off of nothing. This is clearly a V-shaped pattern to the downside, right? Where we've reversed coming off this FEG, and we haven't swept any liquidity here, and so you're longing before the market maker model is completed, right? Meaning the sell side market maker model, right? The sell side of the market maker model hasn't completed, and so you want to wait to long until after we've completed that side of the curve. Does that make sense? So I know that this 1 minute looks very tiny, Fahrenheit, but this is a 30-point gap, and we inverse it within a 100-point candle. So you just enter there with an 100-point stop with 1 micro, and that's it. And the reason why is because we're delivering there from the left after sweeping out these lows and getting a soup, right? When you see a V shape after sweeping out lows, that's always a good setup. I mean, it might fail, right? And that's the risk you got to take, but that's part of trading. But how you know it's buy/sell model, and once it's complete, once we've hit liquidity, that's when you know it's complete. That's when you can start to anticipate reversals. So what I do specifically is I'll start to look, okay, and I'll say, okay, price has just hit a major spot in liquidity, right? Unfilled PD arrays like FEGs, an obvious high inside of a fair value gap, something like that, right? And then I'll say, okay, depending on the reaction we get to this high, it's going to tell me whether or not the market wants to reverse right now or whether we want to continue distributing higher in the direction that we're intended to go, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm watching this high that we have at 17,800 ish, right? And I'm going to see if this high, once we hit it, is a soup, or if this is our manipulation leg to the upside, right? Accumulation here, manipulate up, distribute to the downside, and if it is a manipulation leg, we're probably going to see these two 1 minute gaps get inversed, and then that's going to be our play. That's how you can anticipate price, you know, being on the buy side versus the sell side of the curve. It's all based on liquidity. Did we take out liquidity first before, you know, reversing? And if we don't, then obviously the answer is no. We're still on the sell side of the curve. If we did, then what you need, your next step is, okay, I need to monitor this reaction to us taking out liquidity, and then after that, I need to find whether or not the structure makes sense, you know. So here, we sweep out liquidity here, and we get a V shape, but the structure doesn't quite make sense yet because we don't have our manipulation leg, okay? Once we get a manipulation leg, that's when the structure makes sense. That's when you can start to short, okay? Here, the structure makes sense because we got our liquidity sweep here, and that's obviously a manipulation leg here after accumulating for a second. So like here, even though this is the leg that swept the liquidity, structure is telling us that that's like a valid manipulation leg, right? So like this inverse would technically be A plus subjectively, okay? As long as we get good momentum. Actually, it's not a singular gap, so A subjectively, but you know, you get the idea. Yeah, for sure, Fahrenheit. It's macro time too. Yeah, exactly. Did we put in the 4-hour wick too? Yeah, we did. Okay. So we can just watch this. Looks like we are going to get it. The 1 minute and the 30-second. So there would be like it triggering, and then obviously break even probably at that low there. So yeah, we'll just watch. And then obviously the stop loss is like 50 points, so really big stop loss too. What would be a good break even for this? The low that I have marked there. You just want to see price start to expand past that low and run the LRLR, so it shouldn't come back after hitting that low anyway. If we are bearish, you know, we could still be bullish technically. So yeah, we have this inception gap here, so that'll be my stop, is if we close over that. So we did technically put in a low here. So I think according to the model, we're supposed to go break even there, but there's no roadblock to the left here, so I don't think it makes sense to go break even there. I'm really not liking how momentum has just kind of died here. To the downside, at least. This is probably going to be a stop out. Just based off that candle. I'll watch the 1 minute too. So 1 minute technically still holding. Okay. Let's see. Like, it totally makes sense for us to just come down here. So there's like the technical break even according to the model, and it would have already been a break even trade, but like I said, it doesn't make sense to because there's no roadblocks to the left. And we have a data low with equal lows, and we have the 15-minute unfilled gap below. So there's just a lot of draws and liquidity lower here. We came up here, swept out that high, kind of souped that high. Okay, finally, there's the break even. So that was a little close to the stop out there, but all good. My first TP is going to be the wick low there. We ran that liquidity there. I still think price is going to go for this wick. You know, it's up to you if you want to wait for that as well. But to me, that makes sense. It's a good draw. That'll be 130 points to the low there. So not a fail there, which is really good because we held that 1 minute inception and I guess the IFG. Who took that, by the way? One. Cool, cool. Did anybody scale at the low there? Okay. So looks like that's going to be a break even on the rest. Pretty good play. I don't hate it. How long did it take you to be super confident in the setups you take? I feel like I just lack confidence in screen time and hesitate too much on trades, even if they're A plus. Probably took me 6 months, I think, for me to become really confident in setups. Like there, I was very confident in that working, even when it started to come back a little. Um, it just didn't make sense for us to go up. Like for me, that's the biggest thing. Like if it makes no sense for price to um what's it called? Like go up in a scenario where I think price is going to come down, then I'm going to have really high confidence in that working. You know. No re-entry. I mean, I guess there's a 30-second. That would be like our confirmation setup. But this is starting to become really choppy, so I would just be careful here, guys. Just made 36 cents. Let's go, Dapper. I think I just lost $9 because of slippage on my break even. So I actually took a loss on that trade, but you know, whatever. 1 minute long? Yeah, I don't want a long here. You closed full $400. Did you not take partials? Nah, I just took that with two micros. I was actually gonna try and go for the big ultimate target, which was this 15-minute low. So I was gonna scale one there at 130 points, and then try and target like 300 points full TP or whatever it would have been. Yeah, Dapper, if you're up 36 cents, I think so. By the way, I don't let my emotions around the day cloud me from my judgment and what I know is going to work for a setup. So here, I mean, I can see an obvious 1 minute inverse, singular candle inverse after sweeping at a high that looks like a manipulation leg with good draws and liquidity below. That's not going to stop me from ever rating that subjective A, you know? Yeah, for sure, Murmur. Like, if you guys are green after that play, just call it. Like, I don't even know what's going to happen the rest of the day as far as, like, price goes. I do think we're bearish now for sure. We do have this, like, I guess, V-shape looking setup to the downside here. I bet there's something on the 10-second maybe. Yeah, we have a 10-second setup. It's not very clean, but
Yo, can I get your guys' thoughts on something real
yeah,
quick?
what's going on?
Can I get your thoughts on something real quick?
Wait, sorry. I had you muted. What's up?
Can I get your guys' thoughts on something real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, wait. My computer's getting really laggy right now. What the hell is going on? What's your email?
Me? Here, I'll message it to you. Oh, that's not it.
All right, look at Drive and react to the skit.
Okay.
Wait, what's that?
We just took a short.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. 15 second?
1 minute.
Where? Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
They almost stopped out.
It got real
shit.
close. Yeah, it got
That's
pretty
close.
close. But yeah, I'm short biased right now.
All right, react to that video real quick. Tell me if I should post it. Show the screen.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right, restart it. Restart it.
We're just missing our short right now, but okay. What just happened?
Wait.
No sound. It hasn't had any sound this whole time.
I have sound. No, it has. It has. It
Oh,
has.
okay.
It has. Wait. I need to add a part where I was banging my keyboard.
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. All right,
What?
you gotta
Why?
re-edit that last section.
What should I do?
You gotta get a close-up shot of like somebody just blowing up their prop firm account and then saying that after, because that's for sure what happens. Is they're in a trade or whatever, then those massive candle comes, they get stopped out, and then they go to the Discord and try and figure out what happened.
No.
Okay.
I feel like people just say it.
Okay. Yeah, no,
I'm adding this. You think that's good?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We have this 15-second confirmation set up to the downside, guys. Delivering out of that 1 minute. I think the draw is lower here. This is like the worst setup, though, of these shorts we've gotten. But there wasn't really anything too clean here to take anyway. This 30-second one invalid. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wow, how did that 15-second not just stop out? Holy, it closed below in the last second of the candle. But yeah, if you looked at this chart on the 5-minute, would you say we're going down?
Dude, Payne just called me.
Oh, all right.
Apparently, she's been sick the last 2 days because we didn't really talk. Throwing up, and she calls me and she's like, "I just want to clarify. I've been throwing up. I was really sick." She's telling me all about it. You know, I was just listening the whole time. And she's like, "I know you don't like it when I ignore you, so I just clarifying and telling you blah blah blah." And then she's like, "We'll FaceTime the night, and we're gonna plan our trip to Florida and create a plan."
Nice.
Like I'm pretty sure, like, dude, I think I'm just overcomplicating it.
Yeah, you are, dude. You have an A plus setup and you're just overthinking it. I'm confused.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh wow, what was that candle? Holy shit.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was a candle!
Okay.
Dude, that's literally what people do.
Oh my god.
That's literally chat.
I mean, I'm cool with just hanging out. I mean, we got our setup. You know? How many points did this thing go? Dude, that went 50 points. It doesn't even look like anything.
Here it was. So the other day.
How many points did you catch this morning? I'll just go fuck myself, I guess.
Hold on. You think so? I'm just trying to give me the 300, bro. I'm trying to count it. I'm gonna go to the club tonight. I lost count, bro. I lost count. Well, how about you lost count? Give me the money, bro. Hold on. It's going out the blue. No, it's not. Listen here, buddy. All these great backswings
So,
look like they're only taking
to address what you were asking, Jiu-Jitsu, the first step to figuring out if we're on the buy side or sell side of the curve is that liquidity sweep. Then it's price starting to violate bullish PD raise and validate bearish PD raise. And then the final step is getting that market structure shift. We just don't have the market structure shift yet. So that's why I wouldn't say concretely yes, we're on the sell side of the curve. Market structure shift would technically be this low here. Or now that we've put in this low, this would be our market structure shift if we came down and closed below that low.
Just keep going. Just leave, officer. Have a good day.
So it's those three things, and then in order to get the opposite, it would be, just that setup in reverse. Sweep liquidity, start violating bearish PD raise, validating bullish ones, and then get the market structure shift. What we're doing is we're trying to catch the move before the market structure shift most of the time.
And finally, for the last
because that's
shot,
the
we have
lowest
Jimmy.
entry point.
He
Here,
is going to be
our market
hitting,
structure shift for
hopefully,
longs was that high.
a hole-in-one over my house. Oh, no.
Why are any of the
I'm
swing
giving
lows
you
considered market structure shifts?
$100,000
Because they don't
to make a
really,
hole-in-one.
they're not really that
Oh,
obvious.
seriously.
They don't really
You
stick
have
out.
7 hours to complete the challenge, and the challenge
The only low that kind of sticks out here is this one on the 5 minute, and even then, it's not like the greatest candle to stick out like in the world. It's just it's prevalent on multiple time frames. That's why I'm saying this would be like our market structure shift. This one here on the 1 minute could too, but it's not that prevalent if you go to like the different time frames. Like see how it doesn't really stick out in the 3 minute, the 1 minute, or not the 1 minute, but the 4 minute or the 5 minute. But like this low is gonna stick out in multiple time frames. See how like the 5 minute it already sticks out, that kind of thing. So that's how you know like this will be a good low to use as potentially a market structure shift. What is going on? I don't know. I think Dodgy's scrolling his For You page, so I just muted him real quick. Oh, and now he's gone. "30-second short." Yeah, it's the same criteria as the last setup. I just think we're in choppy price conditions now. If we were in good price conditions still, we'd be forming 1 minute for value gaps and we would be taking liquidity. But because we're not, I think we're not in the greatest price action. Yeah, and now we're out of the macro. That's the other thing too. This 1 minute short at least was in the macro, and we were still forming 1 minute gaps. Now we're just not. It's very wicked, and yeah, we're out of the macro. So I'll probably wait. To take a setup here. Besides, I think if you took this short, even if you just scaled 1 micro, that's still $100. So, I mean, that pays for your month of premium plus, you know, I don't know, gets you your 1 trade a day on MFFU. So pretty good. I mean, if you made $100 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes doing anything else, would you be happy with that? Yeah, we do have a meeting with Israel, I guess. You know, Trump and Israel are having a meeting, but I don't think that's going to move the market too much, since it's probably going to be a talk about the war. By the way, I think A subjective setups are perfectly fine to take on funded. A or better. Yeah, true, Tybo. Yeah, he could be talking to the Prime Minister of Israel and bring up, I don't know. What could he bring up while they're having a conversation? The dogs. I don't know. This 15-second looks pretty good to the downside. There is a SMT at the high there. So, I think this is a good short. But we'll see if it plays out. Like I said, I'm just sitting on my hands until probably the next macro time. We also need to make sure the 1 minute closes below here. So no 1 minute close below there. Andy, are you sure that you signed up with the same email you're expecting to get the prop firm email on? I would submit a support ticket then, because I never have an issue with that. We took last Friday off, so every other Friday. How did you learn the best? I started with his boot camp, and then I just watched whatever he like uploaded, and then watched his streams. And that's what I still do to this day. But yeah, let me get the schedule going here. So does somebody have the CME data holidays? So yeah, this 30-second is working out pretty nicely. Is anybody in this? Once again, we can tell that the market wants to reverse here because we get a soup over the highs, creating a protected high now. Did I watch the 2022 mentorship? Yeah, I did. So now that we've created a protected high, the market's going to want to come down and sweep out liquidity. So probably going to stop at this low, and then maybe we see a reversal again. Let's see. When's Memorial Day? May 23rd. April 17th. All markets have a regular close. No trading on Friday. So we're actually already off for that day, so that's good. And then Juneteenth. Is Juneteenth the start of the next quarter? Because that's April. No, so that's included. So these 2 days we need to worry about. And then everything else should be the same. So it's just Good Friday and then May. Wait. Is Memorial Day even closed? Oh, wait. Never mind. April 17th would be OPEC, so PM off. No, we'd probably still be on. By the way, we're about to hit this TP on this trade. So there's where I would scale first TP. Because now this is no longer protected. Damn, so that was the short that worked. That sucks. So shorts are the right idea. My bias is completely right now. You could have scaled there at that low or this low, but I think that's a safe scale because, by the way, this would be the start of our market structure shift too. So if we close below this, then I'm fully convinced we're in the sell side of the curve. I just didn't take it because, yeah, we were outside of the macro now, and the 1 minute hadn't closed below. And so if I'd waited for the 1 minute close, I probably would have just not taken the trade. But yeah, I didn't take that trade either. I mean, we're green from the first trade, right? Like, one and done type thing. It doesn't matter. This shouldn't give you FOMO, right? Even though this worked out. 3 minute was A+. 3 minute was good. I didn't see that. Yeah, 3 minute was really good there. Data low from 146. Yep. Whatever. I mean, it's not a data low, but obvious wick. And then final TP for this trade based off this momentum, I'd probably target, oh gosh, 70 points difference there. I would scale one here at 510 and then hold a runner to the 15-minute unfilled gap. That's what I would do. But yeah, now that we've closed below this low, I think we're fully in the sell side of the curve. And maybe we can get a confirmation set up with that idea in mind. But yeah, if you took the 3 minute there, good job. So wait, is the market open on these days or no? Is the market open that Monday? The 26th? I think the market's closed the 26th, right? That's what this is saying. Day ordered entered after products pre-opening on Sunday are for trade date Tuesday. So I think we're off May 27th. Yeah, it could be like a bank holiday or something. And then I think that Thursday the 19th. But yeah, you might. And then 6-19. Yo, what's going on, Apoff? We just had 2 really good shorts. I didn't take the second one that ended up working for full TP. But the first one worked for scale. We had this 3 minute here, this 1 minute, and this 30-second that were all, I guess, decent. The 1 minute was probably the worst, but the 30-second and 3 minute were really good. We might be getting another setup right now if we get like a 1 minute or 2 minute gap here. We're on the sell side of the curve now, so I think we're targeting this 15-minute unfilled gap down here. And the next stop for it would be this low here because there's a 30-minute unfilled gap there. This is probably a 5-second short or something. Yeah, 5-second. And you can tell because the way the 1 minute looks there that there's going to be a fair value gap there in the lower time frame. So there's the 5-second inverse. And then break even for that would be this low. So that's our confirmation setup, I guess. Let's see. Does the 5-second play out? I've never backtested the 5 seconds, so I don't know. Maybe not. We're close to the tick. How much of a tap of a gap makes them filled or unfilled? Just curious. As soon as price makes equal lows with the fair value gap. I wouldn't look at anything below the 15-second meek. I was just making jokes. What I would be looking for here probably is the 5-minute gap to close here in 30 seconds and then a short from it. Okay. Okay. I just updated the PM schedule if you guys are curious. What that's going to look like for this quarter. So there's the 5-minute gap getting tapped into there. If we form a 1-minute gap here, this would probably be decent for an inverse. For confirmation setup. Could get along here after the data low was swept. True, if we're calling this a data low. But we're not delivering from anywhere. So that's the issue I have with this trade. And we don't have like the most convincing liquidity sweep in the world. That's what kind of makes me think we're still potentially bearish here. We're not going to get a good 1-minute gap here. But we'll see. SMT, I do believe we have an SMT at the data low there. So whatever we're calling that. Can you go over what an inception gap is again? Yeah, so it's the fair value gap that's created whenever we inverse a fair value gap on the same swing. Okay, so you look at this swing. Okay, this is our swing that forms the FEG that we're planning on inversing. Okay, meaning the next swing is the swing that like inverses the fair value gap here. Okay, so swing high here, swing low here, and then whatever swing inversed the fair value gap, in this case was this one, you look to see if there's a SIBI, if it's a bearish fair value gap, or a BISI if it's a bullish one, on that same swing. And if there is, that's your inception gap. So right here, this is your inception gap. Okay, that's all. We did get a tiny 1-minute fair value gap here. Not really seeing anything on the 15-second or 30-second. I mean, do we have a 10? No. So we'll probably base this off the 1-minute, I guess. I'm not looking for a trade, but would the liquidity sweep be enough to drive price higher, or because we're not delivering from any PD array, are we still bearish? I think we're still bearish because we're still respecting bearish PD arrays. I think if we inverse this 5-minute to the upside, that would be probably bullish, but we're still in this weird spot where we're respecting this 5-minute gap to the left, where we had no displacement over a previous high. So you're almost like longing after buy side's been hit. Which that's not my favorite thing to do unless we come down and sweep out some liquidity. Which I guess we did here with this low. Like this is a good draw on liquidity. But for me, I feel like I'd want to see something better than that. Like an obvious external low. Or like a fair value gap being hit that was left unfilled. Like to me, those are the better liquidity sweeps than just seeing something like this. So for me, it's probably not good enough. Would it work? Probably. Like, I think it's more probable than not that this 5-minute gap works, but it's not a high enough percentage win rate for me to take it personally. Like, I think this is like a 55-45 type trade. Whereas, like, what I'm looking for is like 70% win rates. What's happening? I don't know. Skip this trade on AM session. It hit the internal swing high and decided not to take the 1-minute because I thought the 30-second should have worked. 2, not only the 1 minute, I'll wait for a better entry. Am I cooked? I don't know. Was it a 1 minute high, Apoff, or no? Oh. Yeah, you might be cooked because that wasn't an obvious 1 minute high. But yeah, there was still like a million and one other trades you could have taken today that made you green, so I wouldn't really worry about it. Like as long as you took something else, right? Like this is the trade I took, and this was like at 10:30, like way after, like price had already done its thing. Like look, see, even on my trade, I took the long after the internal high had been swept, because on the 1 minute it's not going to matter, right? Internal highs on the lower time frame have less significance, especially if they're not on the 1 minute time frame. So but yeah, like I don't know, you're probably fine. Like it's not a big deal. You can just make the excuse ape off and just say, I don't know, I didn't want to trade my fundeds today because the we were moving a million points and ICT said not to trade. You can just pull one of those. Here's a 15-second short here. It looks V-shapey, kind of obvious. It'd be delivering out of the 5-minute gap. I don't know what I would rate it because it's a 15-second, but yeah, I don't really know what to think right now. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it was actually not too bad. Now that it worked, but it's probably going to be a break even. Yeah, so I mean, this is a 1 minute low, right? Yeah, but there's nothing to the actually yes there is. There's a 1 minute for value gap. So yeah, that's a break even trade. That's a break even. That's fine. We'll watch the 1 minute, I guess, because this is what's holding up price anyway. You know what's crazy, guys? This is like a decent size for value gap any other day. This is a 10 point for value gap. This looks like a 1 point for value gap today. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, this low that you're targeting is an SMT low too, so probably not the greatest short in the world in comparison. Guys, by the way, I finally committed to like getting healthy. I've been like so unhealthy since college. And like I started 2 weeks ago and I'm going to try and get in the gym by the end of the month. Here was my trade, bad position management, but winner. I mean, 50 points. Why not? Do I drink Saratoga water? Yep, that's me. So no 1 minute inverse there. Let's go, Jim. Okay, sounds good, Apoff. I'll hit a back day with you. You seem like a back day kind of guy. Yeah, we'll do back in buys. What are your thoughts on 30-second IVG sell that was created at 1036? I think I was bullish there, but we'll see. Maybe it was a good long. Oh no, it was a short. Oh, okay, so yeah, I went along with my buys. So you're saying you got in here based off that, and then your target was the low there. So just to get this straight, just so I get my understanding there. By the way, we swept out that low too, but that's okay because it's probably not an obvious low. Oops. I tried to mute because I was going to sneeze, and then I accidentally left. So, that was great. So, let me just get this straight. Clandestine. So, we had a 600-point stop loss here, and a 112-point take profit. Is that right or no? No? Okay. Maybe I missed something. Maybe this was the stop then. Either way, I think it was negative RR, so I probably wouldn't have taken it. Oh, and we could totally hit a leg day. I just have to drive over to Lifetime. I think PB took that. They posted it on IG. I thought they took this 1 minute short here. I thought this is what they took for like 700 points. It was like this. Something like that. Oh, and have you taken anything today? They took that one and then the 1 minute short following that one. Okay, so they took like this one then, right? Or like maybe this one. That one, gotcha. Oh, and are you guys trying to hang out this week? I think I threw around like the idea of like a casino trip, but I wasn't sure if you guys were still on board with that. Ed, what'd you take? All right, sounds good. After the 1 minute I skipped, I saw the 5 minute. I also skipped it. Wait. Yeah, that's a fair skip though. That's a fair skip. I mean, 200-point stop loss. 30-second short. Oh, true. I feel like there was nothing clean to get in off here. Maybe the 15-second, I guess, but that was a break even. Oh, wait, never mind. The shorts here are invalid because we swept the low first. Yeah, for me, ape off. I figured the opening was going to be so insane that it wasn't even worth getting on for. And I just got on, like, after all the craziness. I got it at, like, 10:30. 136, 30-second. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see the vision. Break even at this low, target the 15-minute. Yeah. Okay. Stop loss would just be a close back above, I guess. There's no inception gap. Maybe the 1 minute gap there is our inception gap. There's a 30-second close below. This gap has been holding price up all afternoon. We should just see price die here. We just hit the data low on ES though. So maybe that's all we were just targeting there, but nah, I mean, that 30-second breaking is pretty significant, I feel. Honestly though, let's take a look at the range. Are we in premium or discount? It looks like we're in premium still, so like that should work, right? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, for sure, Squints. I just waited for like setups that like offered like 50 or 60 point stops. I figured that would be decent enough. You know, within my risk. By the way, we're in the macro time now, so this really should just accelerate to our target. Who's in this short right now? For me, I'm just one and done for the day. I'm just tape reading it, but I wouldn't know how to rate this because it's not normally my model, right? I don't take sells off the buy side of the curve. But I think it looks good. Like, that is a fair value gap that we've been holding for a while. What trade did I take earlier? I took the 1 minute short here. I posted it in trade recaps too. I tried targeting this data low. It just came up for break even after this scale. This scale, I believe, was just around 1 to 1. Dump it! Dump it! Come on! I think this trade is very good. Obviously hindsight for me to say that now, but I think even before I said it was very good. We did hit this 1 minute ITL here, so theoretically that's your break even. But to me, it doesn't really stick out in any other time frame. I still think the low you should be targeting there is this low. I blew an eval, I think, Steve. I think Friday I did. I was just trying to full port it with like a mini and just like instantly hit the DLL or whatever. Okay, wow. Yeah, this short is really good. Yeah, Steve, I literally traded one micro this morning and made $500 off of it. Like, it's crazy. You don't even need size. Like, so there's the break even for that short. I'd probably even put your stop a little bit in profit, to be honest. But yeah, the reason why this is a good break even is because there's a 30-minute bullish for value gap there. I don't know how we're going to react to taking that. By the way, that's also your first scale spot because this is like way better than 1-to-1 risk reward. So this was a sick trade. Did anybody like jump in after, like when it was playing out? $300 points, yeah. Called the top here. Top was in. Sell side of the curve. Right? Once we get this close below, we know it's the sell side of the curve. We respect that 5-minute there. We're respecting bearish PD arrays and violating bullish ones, right? This is literally what you just heard me explain, Jiu-Jitsu, happen in real time if you're still here. This is how you know the market's in the sell side of the curve. Right. So a very bullish reaction there to us hitting the 30-minute FVG. That's how you know it's a good scale spot. For sure, Billionaire Babe. So let's see. Are we going to get this 15-second to the downside? This could be like a confirmation setup here. 30-second too. So no 15-second close below. Let's watch the 30-second here. Did I take this? No comment. I'm not saying anything because I said I'm not taking it. So let's just say I didn't take it. There's a 30-second close below. It would... Yeah, no, I'm not going to. If I hadn't taken a trade, this is what I will say. If I hadn't taken a trade, I would have taken this one. Even though it's not my model. I mean, seeing a death candle like that violate the singular gap that was holding a price. You posted your last backtest stream? I believe so. It should just be in maybe YouTube videos, I think. I'll try and link it. No, that's a Sunday night class. I don't know. It got posted somewhere. I will check. If not, I'll check. I've been kind of slacking on the uploads. I don't know why. I'm gonna take care of all that today. It's my top priority right now. After I cook dinner. Steve, dude, I would make you the best dinner. You don't understand, dude. Okay, so break even there. Probably news if I had to guess. Bro, imagine being in this 30-second. Oh my god. Can you imagine being in this 30-second? Nah. That's got to be like one of the worst stop outs in history right there. What is that? What is that? At 150 point stop? Dude, what was that candle? So yeah, that was news. Really bad, really, really, really bad, really bad, really, really bad consumer credit. We were anticipating 15 billion, it looks like, and it came out at negative zero point 0.1 or 81 billion. I don't even know what that means. How did it miss by $15 billion? Can somebody explain that to me? Isn't that like really, really bad? The prior month was 18 billion, right? So I'm guessing this is a data wick here. So we're bullish. Did we inverse the 30 minutes to the downside? No, we didn't. Okay, so I guess we are bullish. I don't know. I mean, what do we think? We have this 30-second here. We're technically still respecting bearish PD arrays. There was a five minute that held there, but we created, I'm guessing this is a data wick, right? What else would you call this but a data wick? If data came out at 3 and we formed a wick to the upside there. There was also Trump news that came out at 3 o'clock. The Trump team considers an exporter tax credit to offset tariff risks. Officials in the Trump administration are debating the merits of establishing a new exporter tax credit, a move that implicitly acknowledges the harm that the White House's tariff policies may cause to U.S. companies. By the way, there's the 30-second of the downside there. I don't know. I feel like we have conflicting draws now. We have data highs and we have the unfilled 15-minute below. Maybe the best setup here will be if we get a long from the 15-minute to target those data highs. But yeah, no, I think shorting here now was obviously not the smartest idea. Just because you should have been in from here, and this was now discounted the range, whereas this was in premium, and then obviously, you know, you should have a stop loss set whenever you're in a trade, especially in these conditions. So I feel like if you took a loss on this, or you took a loss on like the whole candle there, I think you just need more experience trading maybe. But yeah, let's see. Apoff, I don't think I forgot. I think it's you mean like the one before the last one, or I'm pretty sure I recorded it and uploaded it. I'll find the link for it actually right now. We'll go to my YouTube channel and find it. Your videos. Yeah, backtest right here. Did I just never post it? Okay, I'll post that. I swear I posted this somewhere. So yeah, for those of you confused, we have conflicting draws in liquidity. We have data highs here, and we have an unfilled 15-minute below. We're still respecting bearish for value gaps, so I think the best play is going to come when we sweep out one of these and then target the other. No, it's not a bother. I'm glad we could figure it out. My girlfriend made these like super good low cal wraps today, and I've been thinking about them ever since. All right, so we hit the low there. So if you took that short, I guess there's your break even, and then final TP would be down here. What I would do is I would just wait for price to hit that 15-minute, and then maybe what we could get. Oh, never mind. That's never happening. I was gonna say. Oh wait, no. We swept out the previous hourly candle low, so we could come back and hit the high maybe. Where's Stalker? Stalker, what'd you think? Oh, he's not in here. Darn. Well, if Stalker Gaines was here, I think he'd agree with me. But yeah, we definitely could see a situation here where we come down, sweep up this hourly candle low, and then come up and hit the high. If we get bullish enough from this 15-minute gap. Okay, so even if we don't necessarily hit the 15-minute, I don't think that we necessarily need to. I think this is still a decent enough setup now that we've came down and swept out liquidity. Because we're still respecting this 30-minute. So we'll just kind of see where we're at. I think I would really prefer this setup if we hit the 15-minute, but it's kind of like that other day when we had the 4-hour versus 1-hour gap, and we had the 1 hour below that was left unfilled, but price just never came down to it. I think this is like a similar situation to that. In both cases, I think the setups were lower probability than if we came down and swept out the unfilled gap. But if, like, this is still like a 60-40 play. Like, I think this is definitely a winning play. As long as we get, you know, probably the OB here and like a singular candle inverse over it. Damn, everyone went radio silent. What happened? Are you guys like all locked in on the short or something right now? Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. I just had a limit order on my screen. What the hell? Why was there a limit order there? Why was there a limit order there? Okay, cool. So we hit that 15-minute now. Wait, what did you signal bot? What did I signal? Wait, it was a buy limit though. It was I think I had a buy limit left over from when I was trying to target this low. This 15-minute. So technically, like if you longed there, you made money. Somehow you lost, dude. How'd you lose? Come on, man. All right, so now we just need to get a good, obvious singular gap to take long. Because now we've retraced to, I believe, discount of the 15-minute range here. All right? Yeah. So, wow, my draw on liquidity was accurate for this session. Very cool. So yeah, I guess jiu-jitsu, do you see how in live time, even though we've been bullish all afternoon, I was able to anticipate the sell side of the curve getting put in, and then I knew as soon as we closed below this low that the sell side of the curve was confirmed, and I was calling for this even before this happened, and how I anticipated that. This is exactly how you do this whenever you're looking to anticipate like the sell side of the curve or the buy side of the curve before it's even formed, you know? Just go through the exact same steps. Like if you truly want like a good understanding of how this works, just skip to like 30 minutes in to like this stream to like an hour in. Like watch that back because that will completely show you like my exact thought pattern when I'm like, you know, anticipating that reversal. Yeah, I'll make sure to upload all of it. My only regret of today is not taking this. Taking this would have been nice, but it would have break even anyway, so it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but it still sucks. The delivery definitely could have been better today in order for us to be even more profitable. And then I was in this, and I just got break even on this stop out candle. I was targeting the 15-minute low there. And I should have just jumped back in here, but I didn't want to since we had a data high above. So, what can you do? What are we thinking? Singular candle or singular gap here anymore? I guess we have this 3-minute. Not the most obvious gap in the world relative to the rest of the range. I mean, we'd have this 5-minute 2 at about a minute. So we could see this too. The 3 and the 5. Hello, Mr. Amy. Today was so fire. I called out the draw exactly right. I called out the market structure shift as soon as it happened. We called out a winning play as soon as the stream got kicking. We got this 5-minute gap now. I think we're looking at a reversal play towards maybe this data high here. We swept out the hourly low here, and we hit this 15 minutes, so now I'm thinking like it might make sense to reverse. The only way that obviously I'll change that is if we were to inverse probably this 5 minutes to the downside. And then obviously I'd become bearish to run out this LRLR maybe. I mean, it's not the greatest LRLR in the world, but there's a lot of stacked lows here. We have this low, this low, this low, this low, so we'll see. Right? And the way we know that the market's going to reverse is how? How do we know the market's going to reverse? I'll write it down, okay? I just need answers in chat. I need step 1. Okay, step 1, sweep liquidity. All right, what's the next step? Start disrespecting 1 PD array and respect opposite. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, MSS. And then print money. Okay, there you go. That's how you do it. So, do we have that happening yet? Do we have step 1 complete? Yes. Okay, so step 1's complete. So step 2 is going to be... Can we start at step 4? Yeah, I wish. So step 2 is going to be this 5-minute gap getting inverse to the upside. Okay? And then step 3 is our market structure shift. Now here, honestly, our market structure shift isn't until our TP. So we don't know necessarily that we're gonna be putting in the buy side of the curve, but that's not necessarily what we need here. We just need a retrace to the data highs. I don't need the market to come up to here, you know? Would I take the 5-minute? I mean, I think I'd rather take a confirmation setup here. But I don't know. We'll see. It kind of just depends on the close in 2 minutes. I just don't really love the break-even target. It's a little far. 50 points. So, where's your liquidity sweep for step 1? This low here. It's also a 15-minute gap. It's also all just these lows. Like, all this is liquidity that's been swept out. Okay. So 5-minute looks really strong here. Well, obviously, we're disrespecting bearish PD arrays and respecting bullish ones here. We're probably not going to be able to get in on time. There's nothing here that we could have taken. So yeah, confirmation setup looks like it's going to be the play. 5-minute won't go invalid until we hit this high, I think. I don't love the fact that we came up, though, and almost hit this 5-minute. We might have, actually. High is 76. High is 76.50. So we didn't hit that gap, but still don't love that happened. And then I don't love this bearish reaction after coming up and hitting this high instead of the Fiorelli gap here. But I do like it for, I guess, the confirmation setup, which would be this 15-second, I guess, here. Good stop size. Very good stop size. Only 12 points. So, yeah, maybe this is it. And then break even at the high, maybe. Let's see if we get the inverse. We're about to get the 5. So there's the 5-minute inverse. Oh, shit. Dodgy's still muted. I gotta unmute him.
Bro,
Are you
why
in
was
five?
I muted?
Oh, wait. I
Why
have to
was
put my headphones
muted?
on. Gotta do step 2.
Yo, what the hell just happened? Why was I muted?
Why were you muted? You were server muted because when you were in here earlier, you were scrolling your For You page and we could all hear it, so I just muted it.
Bro. I just got muted in my own Discord server. Are you kidding me? Alright.
Yeah, so I guess 5-minute there was a break even because we came out and swept a high inside of a for value gap. So I guess break even trade for that. But yeah, maybe we get an even better confirmation setup now. Maybe this 30-second or something. Three-minute didn't close. Ooh, that's not good. Why would it not close there? Okay, so we came down to the last gap in the leg. This is where you'd want to see the price reverse. Wait, is Trump speaking? Oh, yeah. The Israel guy, right? Okay. I'm going to take this 30-second. I don't even care if it's internal versus external. Oh my goodness, no way. Don't leave without me, please. Did we close? Oh my god, we didn't even close above. Are we so for real? Okay. I guess no close above. That's fine, I guess. So now, I don't know if I'll take it. It's gotten too wicked. We're respecting the bearish PD arrays. We respected the 1 minute there and the 3 minutes, so I don't know. It's not bullish, I guess. We got to start disrespecting bearish PD arrays to the upside here. Where do you put in a support ticket? For Apex, I have no idea. Or what prop firm are you using? I'll send you a link. Just DM me. I'll figure it out. I think if you just go to their website and you go to the bottom, it'll usually just show you like all other options as far as support goes. That's most prop firms, at least. Let's see. We have 50 seconds. Let's see if this 5 minute fails. No, for Dodgy's prop video to get sent to me. Here, still DM me about that. I'll figure that out too. Okay, so looks like the 5 minutes gonna fail here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what's happening. This is crazy. I think Trump speaking right now is just throwing everything off. Technically, we're respecting this inception gap. This would be the stop loss for the play, but we'll see. Right, because this is the swing that inverts the 5 minute. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be watching this 30 seconds still. I think this is a good place to keep an eye on. A little bullish SMT here at the low. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're disrespecting bullish PD race to the downside here, so probably just going to see more of a dump. I think there's like news or something happening right now with Trump. Wait, actually, dude, these candles are insane. It's not over yet. We're still saved. Somehow the 30-second is still intact. All right, trend friend, you too. Yeah, that's cooked. So it looks like logs just started. No way this holds, right? Oh my goodness, it held. What is this even doing? Like, can we just pick a direction here? Even like technically this 15-second could hold, but I don't know. I wouldn't be putting my faith in a 15-second. Okay, so like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like, this 15-second technically held, and this is obvious, so I don't know what to think right now. This is kind of turning into LRLR here on the 15-second. Very algorithmic LRLR. I think we're about to blast up. This might be where I get clipped, but I feel very confident in like long still. I don't know why. We're violating bearish or bullish PD race to the downside, like all the way down here, but I have a feeling. Maybe in 15 seconds when the new 15-minute candle forms. We'll see if we get the close below the previous 15-minute, and that'll kind of help me decide too. Okay. Okay. Aw. I was kind of thinking that would go all the way. I don't like if I was thinking that this was gonna blast up here, it shouldn't stop. Is anybody here long? I feel like this is like such an obvious spot for us to get along. We still just got to get through this 30-second. I'm still keeping an eye on that. Okay, we got 20 more seconds before this 30-second would trigger. We taking this? I don't know. I feel like you should be in from this 15-second last gap in the leg, to be honest. But yeah, there's the trigger for the 30-second long. I mean, you can take it for sure. This should be free to these highs. These are like kind of stacked up here. That would complete the LRLR. Yeah, so there's the high. Wow. Guys, I'm literally in this from so low. What the hell? Yeah, free trade there. I'm literally in this from so low. Data highs would be final TP, I think. Did I not call this from right here that this was going to be a really good long and we were going to blast up? Did I not say that? This 15-second holding? I mean, like, I called the bottom there. I said literally, like, when we put in this 15-minute candle, this is where we're going to pump. I don't know how, like, I literally called the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I'll share my executions in a second, JM Hawk. I just want the data highs to hit because those are my final TP. This is going to be 200 points for me. If we can get it. Come on. Did we hit the data high on ES? No, we haven't. Okay. So data high is still intact on both indices. This was a good trade. What are we running into? Are we running into a 15-minute? No. We just had the 5-minute here. Come on, spec the data high. Who's in off this 30-second? Okay, good. So we had 2 winning plays today. Would you guys call this a call out? Yes? Okay. I don't want to jinx it, but I didn't take an IFEG JIS. I just took the gap. You'll see from my executions. I was just banking on the fact that we had so much built up LRLR that was so algorithmic that there's just no way this wasn't going to get ran. And there was no roadblocks here. What model would you call this? Yeah, just vibes. I would just call it vibes. I just took the trade based off vibes and where we were. It didn't make sense for us to be bearish. We swept out all that sell side liquidity. We were generating so much buy side liquidity here. It just made no sense for us to go down. The only way we go down there is if Trump tells us like bearish tariff news, and I have my stop at the low there if that happens. So, oh, let's go. TP hit. Okay, nice. Hey, no emotions though. It's just business as usual, right? All right, let me share executions real quick. Here are my executions from the trade. That was one of my biggest trades. 200 points. Not too bad. What about that second trade you have in the chart? Was there an IFG on that one? Second trade? What do you mean? This one? This was the IFG for this trade, the 30-second here. And then the 15-second gap from down there was respected. And then, yeah, just absolute banger. How many points was this? This was 100 points. So 150 points this stream. By the way, reversed as soon as we hit those highs, so really good final TP spot too. Looks like it was going to come back for a break even here. Wow, we caught the top. Holy shit. Owen, are you still here? Did you take that? We sniped that. Wow, what a stream. You guys want to hear something crazy? Coming into today, I had 7 cancellations on PM. And they just missed out on 150 points. That's just crazy. So we have this 3 minute to the downside. We're still respecting this 5 minute gap. So theoretically, this should work to the low. I just don't like shorting when we're between two fair value gaps. So now we're between this 5 minute here and this other 5 minute there. So I'd probably wait for one of those to break now that we don't have a good draw on liquidity anymore. But were they on chat? Sometimes they just expired by time. I don't know. They might have just, yeah, expired by time like you said. Another thing that told me that we were probably going to go up there was the way that we were respecting this last gap in the leg. Anytime you see price stab into a gap multiple times and respect CE, especially when it's the last gap of the leg, tells you that price is probably going to go up. And this is what I was watching that whole time. But yeah, wow. Another really good trade. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this 3 minute. So here you can see the CE of the 3 minutes already been violated. So that's telling me that like we're most likely to go down here, unless there's a lower last gap in the leg. I guess there's that 1 minute, but this is more significant. So because we violated CE there, we should see price head lower. But yeah, we'll just see. But yeah, 343 now, so it's a little bit late in the day to take anything else. I think that was probably going to be my last trade of the day. What do you guys think? Give us one more banger. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the only thing left would be this 3 minute here, but I'm not taking this. How do you overcome fear? Size as light as you possibly can. And just really get used to taking the setups. And if they lose, it's not that big a deal because you barely lose any money. Obviously, this week is a little bit of an exception. So if you're in that mode where you're trying to overcome fear, like this is probably the worst week to work on that because even at your lowest sizing, the stop losses are still massive, right? So like I can understand having that fear, right? But when we come back to like a decently normal market, you know, we see 10 to 30 point stops on average, not these 50 plus point stops. Just size down, take as long as you want to pass evals or fundeds, and just really get used to taking the setups. And then, because that's usually most of it. I don't know like what your deal is psychologically as far as like the fear, you know, if it's more of a fear of like, what if I fail? That's different than like a fear of like, what if I lose money? So which is it? Is it more of a what if I lose money thing, or is it more of a what if I fail thing? Like as an individual, like what if I fail trading or whatever? Losing progress. Okay. So like, this is a business, right? Every business has setbacks at some point, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it's an unprofitable business or it's a bad business or whatever, right? So what you need to ingrain in your head is essentially all businesses have setbacks at some point. Apple almost goes bankrupt or whatever in the 90s. Like Nvidia, didn't they like almost like sputter out in the early 2000s or whatever, but because they found like CUDA or whatever, like they succeeded. Your thing as a trader is essentially like you're going to have these setbacks, you're going to blow accounts, you're going to do whatever, but all that matters for you and like what's going to be your breakthrough moment, your Steve Jobs returning to Apple, your Nvidia creating graphics cards. Your moment that makes you a profitable trader is going to be essentially breaking out of like that cycle of like getting scared, making bad choices based on emotion, and then missing out on profit or losing profit, right? It's a little bit of both. You just need to find a way to become essentially fully robotic, and there's like a few things that I talk about usually in one-on-ones on how to do that. But essentially what it stems down to is finding the root of that fear, right? Whether that's in your personal life or on the charts or whatever. And then overcoming that by doing one of two things: addressing the problem in and of itself and removing it, or removing yourself from the environment where that problem is present. And like those two things together are usually going to like psychologically prevent you from feeling that way in the future. But like, where would you say your fear of losing progress comes from? So you just don't want that to happen again. So essentially it's PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever, right? For you to overcome that, I think the best way is to face your fear head on, right? Like, you know how a person who's afraid of heights might go skydiving? That's basically what you need to do, is just feel comfortable with like taking losing setups or blowing up accounts, because that's like a reality of trading, right? So I'm not suggesting that you start blowing up accounts, but that's like essentially the idea, right? Like you need to become comfortable with that so that you don't necessarily you don't fear it, right? Maybe start on paper accounts and just like blow those up, you know, size up on those, take trades or whatever, right? And feel comfortable like losing accounts on paper, because you can't be uncomfortable losing accounts. Like that's just a reality of trading. I've lost dozens of fundeds, right? And I'm still sitting here trading, right? Yeah, no, I get it. And like the reason why, it stems from you not being comfortable with blowing accounts. So you just need to become comfortable with like losing. So there's like a few ways you can get, you know, comfortable with losing, whether that's back testing and taking losses, paper trading and forward testing, losing evals, etc., etc. Maybe what you do so you end up not losing a bunch of money is maybe don't lose like fundeds, but maybe, you know, when 90% off Apex comes out, trade one eval at a time and just get really comfortable at like taking setups on evals, right? Where you're not necessarily afraid of blowing the eval because it's a 90% off, right? Like, so here's 350. We inverse this 3 minutes to the downside. Break even still is going to be this low here. You get what I mean, the jujitsu? If that's the stem of where your fear comes from, you just need to be able to overcome that fear, right? Yeah, you got to be like a robot, right? But how do you get to that point, right? I don't know, right? For me, it was just becoming comfortable with like losing accounts. Like obviously at first, I didn't love losing accounts. Obviously, I still don't, right? But I don't let that fear of losing the account influence my ability to trade, right? Like I don't let it like prevent me from taking trades, right? If it happens, it happens, right? And you're just not at that point yet. And partially it's probably because, you know, you're newer to trading, or you don't have the screen time, or you haven't blown up enough accounts, or you haven't, you know, been in that position enough, right? Yeah. Your jiu-jitsu, the thing is, you're going to get to a point where you're passing accounts like once or twice a week. So It's almost like, how are you gonna know how to become a robot if you've never had to become a robot in the first place? You know what I mean? You're never gonna know like what you've needed to overcome by in order to like become a robot. I don't know. I don't know how else to. It sounds like I'm advocating for you to blow up accounts, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But you need to be comfortable blowing up accounts, or like losing accounts, or like taking losses or whatever. Maybe not necessarily blowing up accounts, but just losing profit. And honestly, like if you got close to a payout and then lost the payout, or you lost the funded after getting close to it, or you were close to passing an eval or whatever, and you lost it within $500 of it. I hope it wasn't like a revenge trading situation where you just like jumped in a bunch of trades after you lost, because that would be like a whole separate issue. But I don't know. It sounds like you need a one-on-one with someone, if not me, you know, Dodger or whatever, where we can like fully flesh out these thoughts. But I probably have kind of exhausted everything as far as like advice I would give. You know, identify the issue and like essentially either remove yourself from the environment, which you're not going to remove yourself from trading because your goal was to become a profitable trader. So then you need to find a way to tackle that issue of losing. And so you just need to be comfortable with losing. I don't know. I've talked about this probably way too long. But do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, is what I'm saying making sense? Okay. So yeah, 350 is kind of a dud. No surprise there. No good draws on liquidity left. What do we say usually after we've swept out all the major draws on liquidity? Which the reason why PM session was so fire is because we had great draws on liquidity. But whenever we sweep out draws on liquidity, usually price action gets bad. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. You know, we're this close to liquidity and we don't sweep it, and there's no SMT. Why is that? You know. Looks like we're going to get it here, though, which is good. So maybe if you're in this 3-minute short still, you'll get your break even in TP1, I guess. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap up stream here unless you guys have any further questions or anything that needs to be addressed today. I thought today was very good. I'll get that uploaded first, I think, today's stream, and then I'll upload everything else. All right. But yeah, I guess with that, I will catch all of you tomorrow. Trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. And then, yeah. Peace out, everyone.